crafter, welcome to another WIPTube. And now this is going to be the wrap-up of 2025, WIPParade and the goals for 2026. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. That thing you can see here, these are the sort of whips. And I have so many of them, they don't fit anywhere else. So hopefully this pile will get smaller with time and actually during the year, because these are still things I need to finish. Yeah, it will be smaller. But I'll start with my actual finishes this year. It's a small box, but I do have two more projects that I actually will start with because they are wet. Unfortunately, I did not plan it well. I started the new year with doing the washing, and I washed two of the pieces that I finished last year. And the first one is the Lacy Cable Tee by IngesKnittingLab. And it was super fun to make. I really enjoyed making that. This is slightly too tight, so I would have changed that. I would have started with making the XL size, not L size. It's not really like too tight that it's not comfortable to wear. Just would have been better if it was XL, but that's it. Other than that, I like it a lot. I do wear it sometimes. Maybe winter is not the best time for such short-sleeved pieces. However, sometimes it is warm in my flat, so I can still wear it. So yeah, that's one of the finished projects. And another finished project is the Lotus sweater by Clara Pushin from My Cup of Yarn. And it was a test knit, but to be honest, I don't know whether this project went anywhere because I finished it much earlier than there was need to, although I remember Clara pushed the deadline for quite a few months. I think at first the sweaters were supposed to be finished in 2024, and then she moved it to, I think, March 2025, and then she needed a break. So we kind of lost contact, and I lost touch with the project. So I don't really know if this project went anywhere. I'm not really sure if I sent Clara my photos. But yeah, I have this pattern, I have this project, and I like it quite a lot. Here, on the other hand, the neckline is too wide and too deep for my comfort. It's not bad. I'm pretty sure there would be people who would like it a lot. It's just that for me, I mean, maybe I would prefer a deeper than a wider neckline in general, but I don't like showing too much of my body. So the wideness that you can see the straps of the bra, for example, that's a little bit not perfect for me, but it's still a project I enjoy wearing. So it was a really nice thing to wear. So then my bloom between the lines scarf, shawl, wrap, whatever you want to call it, that it took me quite a few years to finish because I don't remember why. I don't think there was any specific reason for it. I don't think I needed to buy more yarn. I just think at some point I lost the pattern and I lost where I was in the pattern. So that's why it took me such a long time to finish. And it is a long wrap, as you can see. I just hope I can do it justice and show you the pattern of it. But it's quite, oh, that's better. It's not always easy to show because the pattern is kind of an illusion worked with stitches, so it's absolutely amazing and I love this technique. But it's sometimes difficult to show. So yeah, this project I also use, I have used already because it's a really nice wrap. So it was designed by Tammy Canadach. I think that's her handle. I think it's Tammy Canavan Soldat, or Soldat Canavan, as her name. So really nice pattern. And I used the Scheepjes yarn, Whirl and Whirlette, just like in the pattern, because Tammy really likes working with Scheepjes yarn. I like it too, so I worked on it and made a nice shawl. Then I've got two patterns from my subscription boxes. This is supposed to be hook stand, but it looks like this, and to be honest, I've no idea how it's supposed to work. I, unfortunately, because I took such a long time to make it, I don't really remember when I started making that, but I'm pretty sure it was about 2020, like 1 year here, 1 year there. And I lost the booklet for it. I remember I made the pieces and all I had left was to just put everything back together and I think like put ears, tiny ears into that and then embroider a face, because I think it was supposed to be a bear. But I just couldn't get myself to finishing it. And then in all the moving flats, I lost the booklet for it. And also I lost a lot of code cards for video tutorials. So I just I had to do from memory of what I saw, and that's kind of what I saw. So it's finished as much as I can finish it, but to be honest, it's not really for anything. Like, I don't think I can use it for anything because it's a blob of fabric. Another project was a bit more successful. It's an owl. I also had to finish it from memory. I do remember that the stitching was supposed to leave like those pointy things that are like ears of the owl. I saw the wings at the back and I hope this is the right way up. I do think there were legs and I might have actually made those legs, but I can't find them anywhere. And like I said, I don't have the booklets. It's difficult to find the tutorials for it, so it is what it is. I mean, it is definitely like more finished than not. You can clearly see it's an animal. Maybe not necessarily that it's an owl, although I think the huge eyes do suggest it's an owl. But also it's not a project that I'm particularly like proud of itself. I'm proud that I kind of finished it, but because I don't know for sure this is super finished and there shouldn't be anything else, it is a bit of a disappointment in myself. But yeah, it can stand on its own, I think, and just remind me to try to finish the project as soon as possible, and when I have all the materials for it and where I know where they are and I can access a lot of things. So I guess this will be my reminder to work better. So yeah, those two projects are finished. And then Sashiko, project number 2, one of the last finishes that I made in 2025. I'm not sure what to do with it. I think it's supposed to be a dishcloth, but I'm not sure if I want to use it like that or whether I will then put all my projects like this together and stitch them together to make, for example, a table runner, because I think that will also be cute. Then I've got the fairy, and I can show you what the fairy looked like at the beginning of the year, although I'm not sure you will be able to see the difference. Because the only difference is the beads. And I'm not entirely sure how well you can see the beads, especially if I want to show you the full fairy. Then the yellow beads are kind of there for you to see, but those transparent ones are a bit more tricky. So yeah, that's the fairy. And I worked on it in December, I think. I had a huge break from working for working the fairy, because first I needed to order the beads and the thread for it. Then I couldn't find them both together at the same time. I always either had the thread or the beads not together. So last year, I found them and I started working. And I'm not a big fan of beading, mainly due to the fact that at least the thread I had and the beading needle I had, very flimsy, both of them. So it was difficult to work with them. So that's not fun. And that's not fun because of my goals for the next year. So I do hope to get some research done and maybe buy better equipment for next beading time. Then I did some diamond painting. It's a very, very small diamond painting. And I did that because I wanted to achieve the goal for my diamond painting, because last year I did not really say, at least I don't remember saying very clearly, which diamond painting is my goal diamond painting. So I kind of cheated a little bit and got a diamond painting that I could finish quickly. It's not gonna happen this year. I do have a very clearly stated goal for the year, but I'll talk about that later. Then I worked on my tutorials, well actually one tutorial only, for the playing cards suit coasters, and it was the clubs. And the goal for the year, which I really hoped to achieve, was to post 2 tutorials for the clubs and for the spades, to have that series finished. And I did record the tutorial for clubs, and I started working on editing, and I was really hoping to get the video out in, I think, September, maybe October, but life happened, and to this day I haven't yet posted the tutorial. I need to get back to editing the video, but knowing myself, knowing the way I work, I don't think it's going to happen before March. So there was one person who commented on one of the videos that they're looking forward to clubs and spades, and I'm really sorry I couldn't deliver, even though I promised I would. And yeah, I'm afraid you're still going to need to wait for it a little bit longer. But yeah, the tutorials are also goals for this year, so I'll talk about that a bit later. I also finished one sock from Crazy Sock Lady, as far as I remember, the handle was. It's definitely not a perfect sock. There are a lot of mistakes, like the ladders that you can see. It is big, much bigger than I thought it would be, and it's definitely longer than what I'm used to with socks, but it was really nice practice. I was hoping to knit more socks, to have at least a pair to wear, but I actually kind of finished this yarn for it, and it was a Alize Batik sock, and it was a bowl that I got as a present, so it would be difficult now for me to find the exact same yarn, but I treat it like a practice sock, which helps me a lot. And I think with a project I'm going to show you later on, with forest and socks, it did help to understand some of the concepts, and also to avoid those ladders, at least make them less visible. Then the Mexican pillowcase. Again, one of the projects that I started a long time ago, but had a huge break before actually finishing it, because I had it stitched, like cross-stitched and back-stitched a long time ago, a few years ago, and then I had a few years break because I couldn't find the fabric for the back of the pillowcase. And only this year everything got together, and I found the fabric, I found the thread to be able to stitch it. So now I have the Mexican pillowcase that I'm not using currently, mostly because I have no idea maybe not what to use it for. It's a pillowcase, you know what to use it for, but where to actually put this type of pillowcase, because it's not really something that would fit anywhere in the apartment. Maybe here in the office, because the walls are quite warm in here and yellowish, so it would fit nicely. So that's an idea, to actually get some use out of it. And that's it for finished projects. So let me put everything back into the box and move to other stuff. So now my almost finishes. So projects that the main stitching, knitting is done, but it still needs some refining touches, like weaving in the ends, putting on buckets, buttons. So I consider them as finished for my 2025 goals, but they will be treated as UFOs for my 2026 goals. So I, for the next year, for 2026, my goals, I divided them into 5 levels. In 2025, I had 3 levels of goals, and 17 projects got all 3 levels done, but there were also 6 projects where I didn't achieve any level of goals because, well, in some of them they were a bit too ambitious, but in some of them I just didn't get around to doing them. They weren't really that ambitious. For 2026, I'll be having 5 level goals, and that's because this year I want to make it a little bit more achievable for me to go between the goals. And also I was inspired slightly by Crafty Emily, who rewards herself. I mean, she's using the WIPGo system, which I was thinking about, but it's not really, I don't think it will work for me to leave that much decision making to someone else for like choosing the numbers. I don't really know how the numbers get chosen. So I just used the rewarding system for paying myself. I will open a sub account in my bank account for the reward after the year finishes. And I decided that I will pay myself for achieving every goal. So level 1 goal would be worth 10 zloty, which is the currency in my country. Level 2 will be worth 20, level 3 30, level 4 40, and level 5 50. So if I count correctly, if I finish all the goals in a project, that will be 150 zloty. And as you can see, I have a lot of goals. Not all of them are fully set because I don't have enough details for something. There is still space left for other projects that will come during the year, and then I will make some decisions. And you could think, wow, that's a lot of money to pay yourself. Yes, because the reward I want for myself is a chatelaine. And chatelaine is a very expensive project. Not only are the designs quite expensive, especially if you don't earn in euros, because I think if I earned in euros, it would be much more palatable. And I don't want to say that they are too expensive. They are expensive because I think they are absolutely worth it. They are just expensive, especially if you have to exchange the money. And sometimes the foreign currency is quite cheap, sometimes it's not, but in general, euros are quite expensive. And buying pattern is one thing. The designs use a lot of silks, very luxurious thread, and a lot of beads, and they are usually Swarovski beads. And because I don't know those threads, I don't have much possibility to exchange them for anything else. So my only choice is, maybe not only choice, but I'm the kind of person that likes to stick to the design, to the pattern, to what the designer envisioned, and I am quite scared to detour from it. So even though there are some suggestions for different threads, like using DMC instead of Gloriana, for example, or I think Caron Water Lilies, I would prefer to avoid that, if possible. If some thread will not be available anymore, then I have no other choice. But if possible, I would like to use the exact materials that the designer suggested. And I counted, I tried to count. I still don't know when it comes to beading how much it would cost, because the shops give prices for the weight of beads. So for example, you pay this much for 50 grams of beads, but I have no idea how many beads are in the 50 grams, and the pattern is for the number of beads, not the amount in weight. So that detail is still not very known to me, but it's still, beading is something I would do at the end of the project anyway, so it's not such a big problem. But I think when I counted, it was in the hundreds of euros. So that means it's in thousands of zlotys. So I would need, I think, at least 10 projects fully accomplished with all 3 level goals to even think that it is possible for me to start actually buying the chatelaine. And I'm going to use a sub account that I think is called a savings sub account, which gets teeny tiny bit of interest so that it can grow. But the reality is, I need the 5 level goals to make it a bit more fun, a bit more motivating for me to achieve those goals, to start to work on my projects a lot more. So coming back to the why I started talking about it, the UFOs. Every UFO finished is 1 goal achieved. And this is especially important for me because there are some UFOs that have been UFOs for a lot of years, and I need to push myself, and I think this is one of the good reasons for me to push myself to finally start working on those projects. So what I have are the Shape Play wrap that was a make-along this year, and it's absolutely wonderful, and so far it can work as a wrap, but it needs buttons. I have put the markers to show where I need the buttons. I have the buttons, I have the thread, I just need to stitch everything together so that I can finish. And or of course you can see it needs weaving in the end. So I guess it's not a lot of work to finish it, but I can't seem to find motivation to work on it. So I do hope those goals that I set will help me finish it. But this is something I worked on in 2025, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely marvelous, and I would like to make more of them, just in different colors. But I still need to finish the one. Then I got my Wishbone Sweater. And the Wishbone Sweater needs weaving in the ends, because there are like short threads coming out here and there. And that's it. It's super short work, but I hate weaving in the ends. So that's why I decided to make it my UFO and get around to it, because it should be quick money. Quick rewards, and then having the reward for it at the end of the year. Another thing I worked on is the test knit for the picnic cardigan. And what I need to do is weave in the ends, but also find and stitch the straps that are used to close the cardigans. They are supposed to be sewn onto the band. In here, and then you can close the cardigan. It's not a cardigan that I would wear outside because it has very ridiculous type of coloring. So it's something more that I would wear at home to make me feel warmer, for example. But it still needs to be finished for me to actually use it at home. It was a really nice test knit. I liked it quite a lot. But yeah. Definitely still needs some work, and again it's the things that I hate. Sewing, weaving in, not my favorite. So that's the fourth project that I need to finish. Maybe I should change the goals, because I got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I already have 4. 4 is it? 1, 2, 3? Yeah, that's the fourth one. And it's the Spin Me Round rug, and it's huge, so it's difficult for me to show it. And it only needs a few, and by a few I mean 2 threads to weave in the first one and the last one, because it was made with one giant cake of yarn from, I think, Teddy, the shop. And it will be finished. So I think I'll leave it here so that I can finish it today, like just after I record the movie, and have already one goal, one level achieved. But then I will, change the number of projects in the higher levels, so that actually there is some movement, because let's be honest, there are still projects that need some work, and I would want to push myself, encourage myself to finish them. So I need more projects, at least in the last level goal. But yeah, this project stays with me or very close to me, so that I can finish it quickly. Then I've got my Lotus rug, which was the last project I finished this year. And I think I finished it like the day before yesterday. And it's gigantic. And I will post a photo, actually 2 photos. One photo of the project on its own, and one photo of the project with the file that I got when I bought my puppy. So you can see his photo when he was a puppy. I'm guessing the photo was taken about 2 years, maybe not to the day because he was born at the end of December. So I don't think it would be when he was 10 days old, but very close to 2 years ago when he was a super cute puppy. And this is size A4. I think it's similar in size to letter size in the US, but letter size I think is slightly shorter and slightly wider. But it's so you can see how gigantic it is. And there is something wrong with the design, because I did follow the design to the T, so I can't blame myself for it. Maybe I used too small of a hook. That is a possibility. But I cannot make it lay flat. And I guess you can see in the first photo without the file that it's scrunched up, because that was the only way for me to be able to make the border visible and not turn on itself. Yeah, I think the problem is in the border. It's not really anywhere else in the pattern. I think there aren't enough increases in the border, and I did count the stitches in the border even though there were a lot of them, and I think there is the problem there. But since I don't think I'll be using it as a rug because it's an off-white, the color is called Mist, because puppy, who's no longer a puppy, he's not even a junior anymore according to the names on the dog food, he's an adult dog now. It wouldn't stay white much longer. So I think I'll make it into a tablecloth. I do have one table that is round and I think it would fit it really well. So I'll try that, and then it doesn't matter that much that the border wants to curl up a bit, because it will be in the round, and actually I think the gravity will also pull on the border so that it actually lays what it's how it's supposed to lay. So what I need to do is weave in the ends. First, cut off the easy start labels because they were used here, and there will be a lot of weaving in because I used, I think, but I'm not sure, because I was buying the balls in parts, but I think about 12 to 15 balls, so quite a lot of endings to weave in before it's officially super finished. Then I've got my Christmas bauble that has been around again since, I don't know, 2020 probably. I need to cut those out and stick them onto a styrofoam ball, and I think there's a ribbon there. I did move slightly forward this year, and I photocopied the shape that I'm supposed to cut out. So there's that. I did work on working on it, but I have not got around to do anything else. So that's also one of the projects that needs to be done. Finally, I need it to be done. Another project that's super close to finishing but requires a bit more love is the Pikachu. I did work on Pikachu in December, and most of it is done. But I do need the finishing touches. I need to weave in this end that somehow got out of where it was. And I do need to make the eyes, the face in general, a bit prettier, because right now it looks scary, not cute. So that's what I need to do to consider Pikachu finished. And Pikachu is, I don't know from how long ago, but a long time ago. 2016 maybe? So that will be 10 years in the making. Kind of sounds like that. So super long time to finish. And what I had to do this year is just stitch everything together, all the body parts, and that's what I did. And now just a lot, no, not a lot, a little more of finishing touches so that the Pikachu is done. So yeah, Pikachu is gone. Then the Extraordinary Birds Stitch Along, which needs back stitching here and there. I mean, quite a lot of back stitching, but it's back stitching and getting rid of the grids, and it will be finished. And it was a wonderful stitch along to take part in. I will be looking at Lola Crow's website and group to see what she plans for this year. Some of her designs are not my aesthetic because they often go into the more scary side, which I don't like too much. But if she has anything like this, I'm in. I'm definitely in. So I did reach all the 3 levels that I had, because I did take into consideration that backstitching will take me a lot of time to get to. So all my 3 level goals for this year are done, but I still need to finish it and yeah, backstitch everything and get rid of the grids. So those projects, the Extraordinary Birds, also need a bit of work, but not too much. And that's it for the projects that are close to being finished. So again, let me get them back together into the box so that I can carry them away a little bit, so that I have some space to show and then put away other projects that I need to show you. No, sorry, I found one more project that I need to finish. The UFO, the Easter egg. I have it cut already, so all I need to do is glue it on the styrofoam egg and put a ribbon, and it will be done. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I just need to finish it. That's all. But it's a lot of work for me, so yeah. Okay, so now other stuff. My Blackwork. This is the 2020 Blackwork Stitch Along, designed by Peppermint Purple. I did not start it in 2020 because I found out about those stitch alongs, I think, in 2021. So I started with the 2021 one. And yeah, I did stitch quite a lot on it. you can compare how much I had at the beginning of the year and now. So there is quite a huge difference. And what I have left to stitch are those two rectangles here. And I've decided on what I want to write in there to commemorate the year 2020 and also commemorate my mistake somewhere. I don't remember where I put it, but there is a mistake somewhere. Oh, okay. This way. Because of that mistake, I know which way is up. So it's there. It's the one row that is without stitches, but the grid is up there. So I need to write the text and I need to fill in whatever space will be left. So the goal for 2026 is to finish. That's the level 5 goal, to finish it. Yeah, to finish it totally in 2026. So I reached all 3 levels this year, and I hope to reach all 5 levels in 2026. Then my 2024 Peppermint Purple Stitch Along. Again, I'll show you what it looked like at the beginning of the year. And here the difference is much bigger because although is it much bigger? No, maybe not so much, although the fabric is bigger, so it's a bit more visible maybe. But I wanted to complete 14 fillers for 2024 stitch along, and I did that. And in 2026, the goal is also to finish all the grids. That will be my level 5 goal, and I do hope to do that because I don't want to be that much behind with the 2024 stitch along. And now the 2025 stitch along. There's nothing to compare to because I started this at the end of December. No, at the end of November. So it did not exist at the beginning of the year. And I have 3 fillers completed, so that's also my level 3 goal for 2025. In 2026, I want to have 40 fillers in total, so that I'm really close to the end of it. I don't expect to finish it because that would be slightly too much to expect of myself. I do want to make my challenges, my goals, motivating and challenging, but also achievable, so that I don't get annoyed with myself and disappointed in myself too much. So this one, 40 fillers completed, so that means 37 still need to happen. That's quite a lot, I think. So yeah, that will be my level 5 goal, and of course I will take part in the 2026 Peppermint Purple Stitch Along. Again, I have not yet started because 2026 has already started. I mean, I've seen that a lot of people have already stitched the border because Peppermint Purple gives patterns for the borders and the layouts a bit earlier, so in December, but I was focused on those projects. So for 2026, with the 2026 stitch along, my level 5 goal is to have 15 fillers completed. My level 1 goal is to start gridding because I know myself and I know it's very possible. I will start working on Blackwork 2026 in November or December. So that level 1 goal is to just start gridding, and hopefully I will do more than that, because this year all my Blackwork stitch alongs I completed all 3 levels. So I do hope the next year I will complete all 5 levels that I previewed for them. So then I'll have 15 fillers complete, which would lead me into 2027. Wow, that sounds scary. But it would lead me into the year 2027 with just 2 years sort of behind, not complete, not like this year when I have 2020, 2024, 2025. That's 3, which is maybe not such a big difference, but 2020 finished in 2026 sounds a bit scary. So I do hope this will work out. Then Sashiko. My started Sashiko that I started, I think yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday. And I only have a few stitches in here. Those few. Because I wanted to achieve at least level 2 goal in 2025. Because the level 3 was to actually finish this project, but no, I was not able to. So with 2026, my Sashiko, finishing this Sashiko will be my level 3 goal, so sort of mid-level, and then I'll have to buy some new pattern and start the new pattern to have it in level 5 goal. My level 1 goal for here is a third of it stitched, which I think is achievable. I do hope all levels are achievable, but we'll see how that works. Then I've got my project. How many stitches can I stitch from one thread? And it's taking me ages. I started this in July, and as you can see, I only stitched this little. So I didn't achieve any goal in here because I was much more ambitious when I was creating goals for myself, because I wanted to finish working on this piece of fabric and also do at least 1 row in another size fabric, but I didn't. So for 2026, with this project, my level 1 is even less ambitious than level 1 goal that I had for this year, which means it should get done, because this is the thread that I have left. It's really not that difficult, but because it's size 18, it's super small, it wasn't fun to stitch. So my level 1 is to finish stitching on that. A level 5 goal will be to finish all 3 sizes that I planned. Quite ambitious, but we'll see how that works. I do hope it works, because this is really the worst piece, because it's size 18. I'm using 1 thread for that, whole 8 meters to go through the fabric, small holes. The other sizes will be 16 and 14 count, and then I will be doubling the thread, which means I would use 4 meters at the same time. So it shouldn't get that tangled, knotted. The holes will be bigger for me to see where to put the stitch. So I do hope it is possible for me to work on those projects and actually finish them. And then I've got the stitching projects. First, let's go with Miranda, because Miranda was my focus piece for 2025. And it is big, so it will be maybe difficult to show you the comparison. But first, let me show you what it's going to look like once it's finished. And Miranda, I got it from Heaven and Earth Designs. It was a freebie. They change freebies from time to time, so I don't know if you'll be able to get it, at least not as a freebie. And this is what Miranda looked like at the beginning of the year. And as you can see, the difference is very big because it's basically the whole second piece of fabric. I did achieve all 3 level goals for Miranda for this year, and I stitched 34,199 stitches. So quite a lot. I don't know if you can see this is where you see the whole of it. So really a lot. And I'm super proud of myself. I am at 56.77%. And my level 5 goal for Miranda for this year is to get to 70%, which would be huge. And my level 1 goal is to finish the page, which, as you can see, is not that big of a deal here. But Miranda is not going to be my focus piece for the year. And when I was starting to set the goals, I didn't think that I would have that much of a break from Miranda at the end of the year. So I was thinking about the fact that probably in January, maybe even in February, I wouldn't like to touch Miranda because I would have had enough of it. But we'll see. I might achieve the level 1 goal pretty soon because it's not that big of a deal to finish this one page. So we'll see when that happens. Then Avarice, which is my focus piece for this year. So again, let's see what Avarice is going to look like when it's finished. It's beautiful, but it's a lot of dark areas. And this is what Avarice looked like at the beginning of the year. And I think the difference is kind of visible because I stitched almost 14,000 stitches on Avarice this year. I only reached level 1 goal on Avarice this year because I got to 20%. And I was quite close to finishing level 2 goal because it was to finish the second page. So around here. But it just didn't work out for Avarice. So this year my level 1 goal is 25%, and at the moment I'm at 21.59%. So it's going to take me some time, but I think with it being the focus piece, it shouldn't be too long. And my level 5 goal is to get to 1/3 of the piece finished, which would be nice. Avarice has 240,000 stitches, so 1/3 is about 80,000 if I count correctly. And I have at the moment 51, almost 52,000, so it's 28,000 stitches to reach level 3 goal, which I think is very doable with it being my focus piece for the year. So I do hope to have Avarice move pretty nicely. Then I have the second of the series of 7 Deadly Sins. This is what it's going to look like once it's finished. As the color suggests, it's envy, so it's a lot of green. And both Avarice and Envy and all the other 7 Deadly Sin projects are from Heaven and Earth Designs, but the actual artwork is by Marta Dachlik. I saw her art on those 7 Deadly Sins on DeviantArt almost 20 years ago, and I've always wanted to have those, so now I can make those. This is what Envy looked like at the beginning of the year, and I definitely can just put it side by side because Envy is not as advanced as Avarice, because I also stitch it a little bit differently. Avarice I stitched page by page, like side by side. With Envy I'm doing page by page but going downwards so that I don't have as many threads at the same time parked. And this year I stitched 8,138 stitches on Envy, and I reached level 2 goal. Level 3 was also close by because it was to finish the page, and it was here, but again didn't happen. And also with Envy there are a lot of white areas because a lot more confetti stitches here. And for 2026 my level 1 goal is to get to half of the next page, so quite ambitious. And my level 5 is to have 4 pages stitched, so again pretty ambitious. My level 3 goal, the 10% stitched, and now I am at 5.39%. Once I get to 10%, I will start the third project of the series called Gluttony, and this is what it's going to look like once it's finished. So a lot of pink, if I remember correctly. Gluttony, yes. So it will be a new start, and I plan to add a new design, a new project from the 7 Deadly Sins every time each project that I have started got to the next 10%. So when Avarice got 10%, I started Envy. With Avarice at 20% and Envy at 10%, Gluttony. Then once Avarice gets to 30%, Envy to 10%, to 20%, Gluttony to 10%, I will add a new one, and that's how it's going to go, hopefully. And my idea for working on Gluttony is to work, how to explain that? To stitch with the color that has the most stitches left. So I use a pattern keeper to show me how many stitches I still have to stitch, among other options that it has. And I'm going to put the threads, sort them from the biggest amount of stitches, the biggest number of stitches left to stitch with that color, to the lowest. I usually mark the stitches as complete once I finish stitching that color in a 10 by 10 grid, or sometimes if a page finishes like 3 rows into the next grid, that 3 rows. So it's not like, although it sometimes happens, it's not like every time the difference, one color goes like 1 stitch fewer than a different color, I change the color, and then again I stitch 2 stitches and again it's a different color. No, I stitch with a color for as long as I have the thread, or as long as it's comfortable to work with that same thread. After going below that other color. So let's say one color has 1,800 stitches, another color has 1,425 stitches. I stitch with the first color, and once I go below this 1,425, I see how much thread I have left on my needle. If it's not a big amount, I will still stitch with that thread, especially if there are stitches very close to the area where I am, if I don't have to like cut the thread and move it somewhere else. And then I change to the other color. So I just want to make things a bit more interesting. So I stitched Avarice with more of like page by page, side by side, and in grids. I finished the grid, I moved to the next grid. With Envy, I stitch, like I said, not page by page, but downwards. And I think a bit more cross-country stitching I will try to implement here, not so much of a grid by grid. So with Gluttony, I'll try something else. and that's the idea, work with the color that has the most stitches. But that will also require me that first I need to grid Gluttony. Preferably the whole fabric. Not like I have with Envy or Avarice, that I, for example, here have a quarter more or less gridded. I will probably need quite a lot of it gridded, because the colors will be changing. Areas where they are. I won't need all of it, although that would be my preference. Because if there is a lot of stitches of a given color, and usually there are a lot of stitches of those main colors at the beginning, so they will be normally started around here and they will be quite connected in here, but I will need quite a lot of gridding at the beginning, so that's my level 1 goal with Gluttony. And my level 5 goal is 10,000 stitches with Gluttony. I will again record a video of starting Gluttony, my first 24 hours with Gluttony. Sorry, I am not yet sure how I will count those 24 hours, if it will be midnight to midnight, or like with Envy, 12 hours breaks and 12 hours. I'll see. I'll make that decision once I get there. My level 4 goal will be 3%, so Gluttony will not even get to 5% this year, at least I don't think so. So starting the new project is really a song of the future. But I do hope to work on Gluttony this year quite a lot. And then let's change the medium. Knitting projects. My most important knitting project, the test knit. So that's the Chiara Jacket designed by IngesKnittingLab. And I knitted that in just a month. And I still have a month and a half about until the deadline. So my it's not my level 5 goal, because my test knits are a bit differently done. My level 1 goal is to finish the test knit in time, and I do hope to achieve that. Now it's mostly just pure stockinette until I reach the desired length. And my level 5 goal is to... I don't have that. Okay, let me explain. My level 1 is to finish this test knit. My level 2 is to apply for the second test knit. And based on what happens with my application, I will then write new goals. If I am accepted to my second test knit, then I will have levels connected to that project. But if I'm not accepted to my second application, then my level 3 goal will be to apply for a third test knit. And so on. So that's why here my levels stop at level 2 at the moment, because then it will depend on what happens. I mean, there's not much I can do after I apply for the test knit, because it's the designer's choice who they want to have in their team. So like I can't set any more goals at the moment, because it will all depend on what happens with my application to the test knit. But I do hope to finish this test knit in time, because it's a super cool thing, and I do hope to make more of those jackets. I mean, if it fits as well as I think it will, I will make more of those Chiara jackets, because they are amazing. Another project is my Pohjola sweater. This is a knit I started this year, and I do hope to finish it this year. I mean, I started it last year. I do hope to finish it this year. That's my level 5 goal. And with Pohjola sweater, let me look at my goals. With Pohjola sweater, I achieved only level 1 goal. Too bad, so sad, but that's the reality, because my level 2 goal was to finish the body, and I still have quite a few rounds to finish the chart in the body, and then quite a lot of plain stockinette in that color, so quite a lot still to do. So finish body is my level 1 goal for the year, so my level 2 became my level 1 goal, and finishing the whole project is my level 5 goal, and I do hope to finish it because I really, really like it. It's really, really nice. And Pohjola sweater was designed by Jenna. Jenna Kostet. It's from a book called Knitting Kalevala, and there are more wonderful projects there, but I want to focus on this one first and actually finish it this year. Another project that I am knitting are the socks, the Forest and socks that I won from IngesKnittingLab Lacy Cable Stitch Along. And this year I wanted to have 1 pair stitched as my level 2 goal. It did not happen. So for socks, because I'm not limiting myself to just those socks, but my level 1 goal for socks is to finish part 3 of the pattern. So I think it's the heel. My level 5 goal is to start a new pair of socks, because with those socks I want to make the pair of them. So this is sock number 1, there will be a sock number 2, and I also want to start a new sock. We'll see how that happens, but I have seen already a few nice projects for the socks, so I do hope I can make that happen with a Forest and socks, so that I finish them and then move on to a new project. And then I think my last WIP that I am left to show you with is the Mochila bag. My huge Mochila bag that I started in, I think July, maybe, no. It had to be June, maybe even May. But I did not start it at the beginning of the year. I did not plan for it to be at the beginning of the year. But I realized with the sweaters that I was making, and I am still making, I need a bigger project bag. And I like those Mochila bags. So with the Mochila bag, I only achieved 1 level goal, because I stitched over 30 rounds. With this Mochila bag, finishing it is the level 5 goal. reaching around 45 and I'm at around 38. This will be my level 1 goal. And this is the project I will be mainly working on at school. So when January starts, well, when the school starts in January, I'll take it back to school and work on it there. Probably will take it out, well, I will have to take it out from school at the end of January to show it on my January progress. But because we start winter break at the end of January, I probably will work on it during the winter holidays. Especially if I have my test knit finished or super close to finished, then I'll be able to work on it at home a lot more as well. So that's the last WIP from the WIPParade. Now it's not the end because I counted more or less and I have over 20 goals. Some of the goals are a bit more technical, so posts on Instagram, tutorials, designing things, creating subtitles for the videos. But there are some new projects I want to start. And one of them is Fox and Rabbit Stitch Along. That was for 2025 and I saw it on Adelaide Stitch's channel. She was showing it one time and I loved it. So I want to make it this year. And what I want to do for level 1 goal is to stitch this center square here, the centermost, and expand a little bit. But what I want for my level 5 goal is to have, like when I have finished this square here, the insides, have those four decors stitched, because I think this will be the most logical thing to do. I'm not yet super decided when it comes to colors. I like the way it's stitched here with the blue color, but I also saw on Adelaide Stitches that she used different colors for different parts. I don't know which way is better. So I'll have to make the decision how to stitch that. And that, like for me, both ways will work well with those decors stitched, like not just expanding everything out, but doing the decors and then going back to stitching in the square. So that's what I'm thinking about stitching this year. So as you can see, the goal is not to end this project this year. Another thing I want to stitch is the advent calendar that I bought from Historical Sampler Company, and it was a bit of a mistake because I was thinking I would buy the advent calendar, but you know, like a box with things inside, but I got this project with all the things I need to work on it. And the goal here is to actually finish it by December so that I can use for my December any type of calendar, advent calendar, WIPmas and stuff. So that's the goal, to actually finish everything before December starts. So it's not even to the end of the year. I do think it's possible because it doesn't look like an overly big and complicated project, but we'll see how that works. Here, so that's a project. What other things I want to make? Oh yes, the diamond painting. This is the diamond painting I want to work on this year. I still have my Harry Potter diamond painting that I bought from AliExpress pre-pandemic, I'm pretty sure. So 2020, no, not 2020, 2019, maybe even 2018. So a long time ago, but it's huge. It is big. So I want to start with something smaller. So this is a gift I got from my best friend. So I'll be working on that. This is the project I want to work on, and the level 1 goal is to finish 10% of it, and the level 5 goal is to actually finish it, which here I have the most doubts of finishing the project. It is 30 by 30 centimeters, so it's not really... Wait, 30 by 30? Sounds suspiciously small. So actually there are chances for me to finish, because I knew it was smaller than the Harry Potter one, but I kind of expected it to be bigger. But then again, I have no spatial intelligence, and what I think is 30 by 30 centimeters may not really be what it is, because I think it's 12 inches by 12 by 12 inches. I have a Q-snap like that, so it's not really big. I could actually finish it this year. That would be nice. Another thing I want to work on is the XL sweater. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. This is a project I saw from Rosemary and Pine's video. She made about projects she wants to make, and I loved it. I absolutely loved the design of it, and I haven't yet bought the pattern for it because I have other projects to make first. But I already have the yarn, because it took me a long time to get the yarn that I wanted, because I want to have it as the sun and the sky. Absolutely love those colors. When I look at the design, and I can see that in the original design, the daylight version, or the day version of it, the blue is much darker. It's more like a navy color. I have sapphire color, and the yarn is by Martin's Lab, which is a Polish dyer, Polish company, dyeing company. And now I'm not sure if this will not be a too much in-your-face color, which I don't really like. But this is my favorite shade of blue. So I am a little bit, I don't know. I'm going to see what it looks like. I'm a little bit scared because I really don't like very deep colors when it comes to wearing a garment. I like deep colors to look at, not to wear. So this I'll see what it looks like when it's together, because maybe the gold color will kind of hush a little bit the blue one, and that would be perfect for me. But I have the yarn, I still don't have the design, the pattern for it, but this is the project I really want to make. And because I don't have the pattern for it, I could not write any goals yet, because I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's a top-down sweater or bottom-up sweater. I don't know whether you work... I don't know anything, because there are so many options. I remember I was making a Ruska sweater for Klara Pushin as a test knit 2 years ago, and it was a sleeve start, like a cuff start. Then we were going from cuff to then the yoke and the other sleeve, and then we went down. So the options are endless. So because I don't know how it works, I cannot set any goals yet. So I will, once I get to the point of actually starting the project, I will buy the pattern and I will set the goals, and then I'll talk about them in a bit more details. And I think the last thing I want to be making this year is swatches from the Knitter's Stitch Collection book, because what they have, and it's kind of, yeah, so that I don't show the pattern for it. They have a lot of swatches, like patterns for different stitches. So what I will want to be making this year is testing for me all those different stitches, so that I can have a look at what I like, what is quite easy, practice some of the stitches that other designers might be using, and also use up some of the yarn that I have. And I probably won't really use it for anything else, because it's either super old that I got from my mom, and some of those yarns remember Czechoslovakia. So 1980s probably. And I want to practice knitting a bit more, especially different than just stockinette. So my level 1 goal is to have 3 of those swatches made. My level 5 goal is 15. And there are, from what I remember, about 200. But let me check. No, 300. Although the last ones are numbers, I don't think I need to stitch numbers or letters. But for example, the stitch 264 is a garter stitch entrelac. So lots and lots and lots of different stitches. Even if I would only want to make like without the numbers and letters, that is still over 200 stitches to be working on. And some of them are like called like unusual stitches. So I'll leave them to the end, because they are usually also level 3 in difficulty, because the book shows you how difficult some of the things are. But they are absolutely beautiful things. So I want to start working. I might skip the first ones, because it's, yeah, the absolutely first one is the garter stitch, so I have that covered. Stitch number 4 is a stockinette, so I got that covered. But all the others I might do, and I probably will. So I want to stitch that. And like I said, there will be also goals connected to Instagram posts, because I'm also on Instagram, to tutorials and some designs of my own to post on here. And I still have space for new projects to come. I am expecting to take part in another stitch along, for example from Lola Crow, or maybe a make along designed by Schapius, be it crochet along, knit along, make along, because it combines different crafts, or new projects just in general when it comes to stitching. So lots of possibilities for me to achieve new things, learn new things, progress, and hopefully reward myself, and at the end of the year get some money and spend it on the chatelaine. I still haven't chosen one design that I want to make. There are so many beautiful ones, but I think I will start with something smaller. And I think one of the designs I was thinking was like a butterfly lace mandala, or winter garden or Tudor garden. There are just so many wonderful designs in the chatelaine, and every time I see posts in the Facebook group like, oh, this is nice, oh, this looks pretty. So I haven't chosen that one, so the cost may vary. I did check, I think I have like 10 or 15 that I really like, and I started checking the prices for everything. So one of my factors for final decision of what I'm going to make will be the cost and availability of materials. So I don't yet know what I'm saving the money for. I know it's a chatelaine because it's like a dream project, but I don't yet know which one. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe during the year I will clear things up a little bit more, but I think the main decision will be taken either in December or in 2027. And this number sounds super scary to me. I'm not yet used to 2026, and I'm already thinking about 2027. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, hopefully. I stitch a lot, I knit a lot, I crochet a lot, I craft a lot in general, and I have a lot of progress to show you at the end of each month, and I save quite a lot for my chatelaine to reward myself. Otherwise, this is going to have to be a 2-year reward system to save for anything, which wouldn't really be a terrible idea, because I will not be able, I don't think I will be able to finish a chatelaine in 1 year. So the fact that I would, for example, need to save up money for the beads, which come at the end, wouldn't be such a big problem. So it doesn't worry me too much. I would love to be able to save up money for the chatelaine, like in full, at the end of the year, but if it doesn't happen, that's also not really a tragedy, because I don't think I'll be able to use all the materials in 1 year. So it's not going to be a problem if I don't earn all the money that I need. But I'll try my best to achieve as many goals as possible, so that I know that it works, that it's a system I can use over and over again to motivate myself to work even harder, and to have fun with it, not to burn out as well, and have some breaks here and there, but also have a goal in mind to have something more than just, yay, I worked on it, nice, but have something a bit more tangible with it too. So that was my wrap-up of 2025, WIPParade, and setting up goals for 2026. I do hope if you liked some of the projects, especially ones I haven't finished yet, you will continue with me on my journey with working on them. So I do hope you click like on the video if you liked it, leave a comment if there are any goals you have set up for the year for your own crafts, and if you haven't already subscribed and you want to see the progress, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Bye!